Hey, welcome to the party. You found the Mouse Castle Lounge, your home for cocktails and conversations from the worlds of Disney and beyond. Visit us at themousecastle.com. Follow us at Mouse Castle Show on Twitter and the Mouse Castle on Facebook and Instagram. Your table is waiting, and drinks are now being served. Don't be shy. Come on in. Let's get to it. Here are your hosts, the keepers of the Mouse Castle Lounge, Tim Calloway and Anthony Reynolds.
Welcome to the Mouse Castle Lounge. I'm Tim Calloway.
I am Anthony Reynolds. It is May 21st, 2021.
And we are your weekly, more or less, dose of Disney news, information, and commentary. What's coming up today? Whenever we feel like it. We got stuff coming up, and what perchance are we discussing today?
Well, we are going to take a look at Walt Disney World's new Star Wars-themed Galactic Star Cruiser, and also Disney Cruise Line's new Disney Wish. It's a cruising episode today, I guess.
We're cruising.
All that and more coming up next in the Mouse Castle Lounge. So this is what our we were gone for how many weeks? I lost track.
I don't know. I don't know. Something like that. It's like 2.5 weeks.
We took a week off for my work stuff because my schedule adjusted and now my days off are changed. So we took a week off of that because I had to work 8 days in a row with that adjustment. And then we actually recorded last week, and it's a lost episode. It's out there.
Yes, it is out there. It's in the ethereal haze out there. I was working on as an extra. I was doing background work on a TV show that was shooting here in Vegas, and I can say what it is. It's CSI Vegas. They are rebooting the CSI franchise, so there's a new CSI series that's coming out this fall on CBS, and they were doing location shooting in Vegas, and they were doing night shoots. So I was going in at 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night and not getting back home until 9 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my God. I was going to say, that's like my schedule, but that's even, once the sun comes up, that's too much.
It's been a long time since I did stuff like that. I did radio back in the day, and I did overnights, and that was all well and good. But yeah, the shift that really kicked my butt. I went in at 11:15. That was the call time, and I left the set at 9 o'clock in the morning. And we had actually, between times, had recorded a show, probably the best show we have ever done, and I was too just beat down to do the editing. And by the time I was at a position where I could do something about it, it's 3-4 days later, and it's no, I'm not doing it.
In all seriousness, no, I didn't listen, obviously, because I have the file. When I was there for it, when we taped it, or whatever you call it, recorded it, it was probably a trash episode, if I'm being honest, because in order to, with your schedule and my schedule, normally what we do is we film this on my first day off. Again, I work overnights. So I'm usually pretty awake by the time we get it, if not just a little bit adjusting, but I've been awake for a few hours. This episode, though, we actually, to adjust for our schedules, we filmed it.
We filmed it?
I woke up, we filmed it. I don't know, man. I'm talking about Tinseltown and Las Vegas and all, I don't know.
Movie magic, baby.
Oh my God. There's film on tape. So we taped it, and it was like an hour after I'd woken up. Before I went to work. And so I think probably half the episode was probably me going, because I had my morning voice and I had not spoken to a soul. I mean, at least, I have the apartment to myself for a week and I'm at least talking to myself. But I didn't even have a chance to do that last week. So honestly, it was probably for the best that did not get released, because
it'll be the lost episode. We'll use it. We'll use the outtakes. Like if one of us, dies, we can do like a Carrie Fisher, and we can, insert segments that were recorded into the final version of the rise of the Mouse Castle Lounge or something like that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna end up basically the whole episode will start with the dead speak, and it'll be just me. Hello, hi, May 21st. Always trust a droid.
Hey, we don't want their kind around here.
The Rise, the Carrie Fisher stuff in Rise of Skywalker was not great.
Awkward. very
It was
awkward.
very awkward.
But
The
we
whole
are
movie was.
we are going to talk about Star Wars stuff today, though. That's
Yes, a
kind
little
of cool.
bit. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, they have the what is it? The Star Cruiser Lounge. No, it's we're the Mouse Castle Lounge.
The Star Cruiser
the Star
Lounge.
Cruiser Lounge.
Okay, we should
you know what?
we should get that domain name now while we still can.
Yes, we can go film live at the Sublight Lounge at the Galactic Star Cruiser. So if you don't know, Star Wars, Disney this is not a great episode for me either. I'm going to start clearing my throat. It'll just be a repeat of last week.
Yeah,
So-
another Flemmy episode of
Oh my
Mouse
God.
Castle Lounge.
Anthony Flemels. I love a good portmanteau. So if you're not aware, in Florida, Walt Disney World, they have Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disney Hollywood Studios, or as I will forever know it as, MGM.
Thank you.
It's just so much easier. So anyway, DHS, they are building a Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser. It's going to be basically an add-on kind of experience to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. It's built kind of right at the edge of where the Hollywood Studios plot is. And it's going to be a 2-day immersive experience where you're going to be, living a Star Wars adventure on a Star Cruiser. It's going to be complete. Like you drive up, they're going to take a shuttle to take you up to space, and
you're basically imprisoned. I'm just wondering about this totally immersive 2-day, 2-night adventure that they're doing where you're all in Star Wars. What if something goes wrong and you have to leave?
I mean, they'll probably have an escape shuttle, I would imagine.
Okay.
No, I don't. I don't know the whole thing. I just don't know how immersive it's going to be versus what it can be. Of course, with everything that's happened the last year plus, I mean, what's getting cut? How immersive could it be versus what we're gonna get?
Mhm.
And of course, I mean, this is a 2-day vacation. I haven't really read anything that's very clear about. Like you said, like something coming up, but coming and going. I mean, what
Yeah,
are you having to devote 2 full days to this?
it looks like it. I mean, just the way I do it, the way I interpret it, it's like it's the Star Wars hotel, the Star Wars resort that
Mhm.
has been talked about for quite some time now, and to get you totally immersed in the Star Wars experience, they create this illusion or the simulation where you're transporting to this space age resort where you live out this Star Wars fantasy. It's kind of like Total Recall for Star Wars.
This is gonna be like 3 boobed ladies walking around.
Exactly.
Is that
Yeah.
the right movie? I've
Yeah.
never seen it.
Very good. Yeah. See the good one with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Don't see the remake. It was trash.
All right. Well, most of them are. So.
Welcome to Mars. But they will have different characters wandering around and that you interact with, and I guess it's going to be like a simulation. It's going to be where you actually become part of this environment, and there are stories to tell and adventures to have and things like that. And then they will take you off to Batuu, to Galaxy's Edge, to explore that area.
So my whole thing with it, like, again, I mean, you're spending a lot of money eventually. I mean, it's going to be a lot of money to do this whole thing. It's going to be hard for me to be like, and I know I'm a Star Wars fan through and through, but I'm probably still not the target audience for this. Because, like, for me, I'd be there going, okay, cool, you got these fun activities to do for 2 days. Epcot's right there. I can get some food. Like, I don't know. Because part of me is going to be like, oh, I want to go, to, Test Track or something, but it's right there. But
Yeah.
nope, I got to look at these
you're not.
video screens.
You're in
for,
space. You went in hyperspace to some distant space station here, this Halcyon Star Cruiser.
And I mean, it's cool. I don't know that I'll ever be able to afford to go. Or I might weigh my options going, that's too much money, even though I can afford to go. It's
Yeah, and I have not seen prices yet, but I mean, and they have a lot of if you go onto the Disney Walt Disney World website, there's a lot of concept art that you can look at, and there's interaction with different Star Wars characters. There's one where this family seems to be playing some sort of a game with Chewbacca, and you can wield a lightsaber.
did we talk about the lightsaber thing? The new lightsaber that they have apparently.
No, they didn't. They just released a new little teaser video on that.
Yeah, so I mean, I listened to Carly Weisel's podcast, very amusing, I believe it is, and so she was one that kind of took the role of telling people about this because she was on the video call where they had this, and it's like and it was touted as a real lightsaber. Okay, let's be clear, there's not an actual weapon out there that they can cut through stuff.
Damn it.
But it retracts and it goes in and it lights up. I mean, if you look at the patent, the technology is more or less based on a tape measure, where it just kind of comes out. But that's going to be a big part in. Apparently, it's being developed for this specifically. I mean, it'll probably have other applications, in the future. But as far as I know, that new lightsaber concept is going to be primarily for the Galactic Star Cruiser. And so, I mean, that's going to be a thing you can do there. You can like wield a lightsaber. They're going to have like target practice, I guess. Kind of like in A New Hope, where they have this floating ball kind of thing.
Okay, alrighty. But I mean, it's a total hotel resort experience. So there's restaurants. There is a sublight lounge where you can enjoy cocktails, and they have the Crown of Corellia dining room. And I mean, and all of everything you would associate with a hotel, but your passenger cabin, since you are aboard a Star Cruiser, it's a cabin, not a hotel room. It has each cabin has a window into space, so they have this space simulation that you can look out of.
And I'm sure, depending on the amount of money you put down, the bigger the window will be.
Yes, very much so. Unless you get an interior cabin that doesn't look at anything. Or I don't know, maybe that's a Disney Wish thing. That's coming up later. But
even the Disney cruises, they have the Disney cruises have like rooms that are like specifically asked for because they don't have a window, and so they put a porthole in there where you can see like a video porthole where you can see like characters go by.
That's so cute.
Yes.
But this is coming. The see, I got your phlegm thing now. The Galactic Star Cruiser comes to Walt Disney Resort in 2022.
And I'll probably get there in 2030. So,
yeah, exactly.
Unless I apply for it, they've been posting. There's like job openings and like to do like mechanics, like they're like casting really mechanics, and there was like a cruise director kind of thing. It's if you look up Galactic Star Cruiser jobs, you'll probably find it if you're interested in that sort of thing.
I'm sure, and you could play a character. It's a very immersive, very improvisational type of thing that you would be doing, where you're playing a character and interacting with guests.
It's going to remind me a lot of. Have you seen on HBO? Is it Avenue 5?
I do not know.
I think it's the whole thing is basically it's a cruise ship in space.
Okay.
And it has like Hugh Laurie in it. I think it's by the same people who did like Veep. It's actually very funny.
One of my favorite things along that line, it wasn't even a movie or TV show, it was a video game, Starship Titanic, which was developed by the author Douglas Adams, who wrote Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. That is one, and you've wandered onto this giant Starship Titanic, and there are mysteries on board to solve. But because it's Douglas Adams, the humor is very bizarre. And there are story elements, characters that outright lie to you. It's quite a few years old, but I think you can probably still find it on Steam. But anyway, off the subject, but Starship Titanic is still one of my all-time favorite video games.
I hope it has a Space Billy Zane in there. That'd be really cool.
It doesn't, but that was an oversight on that part. You would be happy to do like a Forrest Gump kind of thing where Billy Zane just shows up in every movie that you watch.
But as his character Cal from Titanic.
Right.
I want to see the character Cal specifically from Titanic going around all the movies. Make it a ride. Instead of Universal's, race in Manhattan with Jimmy Fallon, make it a race through time with Cal from Titanic.
Nice. I'd buy that for $1.
Oh my God. That'd be so great. Oh, I want this. Billy Zane future ride. Oh.
So you said that you'd get around to visiting the Galactic Star Cruiser like in 2030. Will Star Wars still be relevant in 2030? I mean, how good of a job has Disney done and will continue to do with Star Wars?
They've done great when it comes to the and here's the thing, they've done great lately with like the Disney Plus stuff, the smaller screen stuff. Like Mandalorian is amazing. The Bad Batch, I'm watching that, is pretty good. The final season they did of the Clone Wars was absolutely fantastic. They need to figure out what they're doing with their movies though.
Yeah, exactly.
And we talked about this, and you have some very wrong opinions, but they
let's talk, shall we?
I think that their strongest Star Wars thing, I think the spin-off, the Star Wars stories, Rogue One and Solo, have been they're more quality to me, at least. Episode 7 I loved when it came out, and that was, I think, and it's still, I absolutely love that movie. I saw it like
The Force Awakens.
Force Awakens, episode 7. I saw that like 6-7 times in theaters, I think. And after The Last Jedi and the Rise of Skywalker came out, that really kind of soured my look on episode 7. Because I was more willing to forgive a lot of the territory that we've already been over, a Death Star, yada, yada, yada. I was like, okay, but we're leading up to something, and what we were leading up to was an absolute mess.
And there was it really showed such good promise in The Last Jedi. I really thought that, okay, we're taking all the expectations that were met in The Force Awakens, and we're turning them on its ear, and we're taking it in a whole new direction. And I was cool with that. I liked where they were going. I'm one of those people, and fans were hugely divided on The Last Jedi, and I was one of the ones that thought, it's like, I like what you're doing. I like what Rian Johnson did. It's like, let's challenge our expectations of what we know about Star Wars. And then JJ came in and just destroyed it in Rise of Skywalker. At least we can agree on that the Rise of Skywalker it wasn't even a Star Wars movie. It was a JJ Abrams movie with Star Wars characters in it.
So I remember when I saw Last Jedi, now that was a movie, I went on a full media embargo on it. I didn't watch any trailers. I didn't read anything. I went there completely blind. And as we walked out of the movie theater, me and a friend, she was just talking about how great it was. And I just had this weird moment where I was like, I don't think that I liked it, which was for coming off of how much I loved episode 7, Force Awakens. It was very confusing to me going, there was a few things I did not like about it. I won't go into it. At the end of the day, I believe the cast deserved a lot better than they got.
Agreed.
But and Rise of Skywalker was an absolute mess. And I think as much as because out of the three, I'll be honest, and I don't have any strong political opinions on why. It's not a movie I cared for in the Last Jedi. But I still kind of think, as much as I do not like The Last Jedi, the next movie would have been better had they carried over a lot of the stuff instead of trying to rewrite it. It would have been a more cohesive story, even though I would have, it would have been a movie I probably didn't like as much as I would have hoped, but it wouldn't have been a complete mess.
Bringing back the Emperor was a bad idea.
And then I shouldn't have to read books to figure out what's going on, because apparently he's a clone only, and it's like, that wasn't established at all.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah, and
I'm glad you told me. Now it all makes sense. Now I love that movie.
Thank you so much. God. Well, I mean, eventually we're going to hopefully get a Dave Filoni thing where, he took the prequel trilogy, which was, a joke before it became a joke, and then it became respected again, which was the weirdest thing in the last 3 years with those movies. But with like the Clone Wars and stuff, he filled in all the gaps and everything, and made it a quality kind of story. I don't know that he can do that with the Disney trilogy.
Yeah. But I know, and this is the thing that's so frustrating about what Disney has done with Star Wars is, I don't expect them to get it perfect every single time, but you've got really quality stuff like The Mandalorian and The Bad Batch and that side of it. And then they just took the movie franchise that everything was built on and just ran it right into the ground. So now they're heavily invested in this new, Galactic Star Cruiser, and I mean, and in all honesty, Galaxy's Edge is a big success. It's great. It's great immersive Star Wars entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. There seems to be just so much inconsistency. I mean, take a look at what they've done with Marvel to compare, and they've done just about everything right with the Marvel franchise, with the movies, with what they're now doing with attractions, and I worry about the future of Star Wars at Disney.
And I worry. So to that point. And Marvel, has been a massive success and everything. But I worry that they might start to take too much from Marvel, in the sense that, like, Mandalorian is fantastic. I mean, I'm caught up on everything, so I know who these side characters are and all that. But I feel like now that they're intertwining a lot of the Dave Filoni stuff, like Ahsoka Tano, the Clone Wars and all that, I feel like it's maybe getting a little too inaccessible to the casual fan.
I get it.
Like, you should be able to enjoy something on the surface without having to, because I know a lot of people who are put off by, like, the Marvel universe because they haven't seen the previous 20 movies.
That's true. If you came into Avengers, Endgame, or any of the movies before then, and the thing with Endgame is that it didn't presume, it just presumed that you already knew everything that happened. There was no backstory at all. It's like, we're not explaining who any of these characters are all. If you're here, we're going to assume you know what's going on, and we're just going to lay it out there for you. I think maybe Infinity War and Endgame, together are a good standalone. But there's too many other movies you can't just jump in and know what's going on. And I have my issues with Endgame, but I mean, overall, what they did with the movie franchise is has just been amazing, and I continue to be excited about what they're going to do with the Marvel characters when they're getting them back into the parks now.
Yeah, I'm looking forward definitely to. They announced a bunch of stuff for the whole Avengers campus with all the food and everything, and I think we talked about it. I'm excited for the food there. Oh my god, they got the giant like pork sandwich thing. They got shawarma. Oh my word.
They got shawarma.
They got shawarma. They got shawarma.
I got to do shawarma.
Hey honey, look, they got shawarma.
they got a shawarma of shawarma over here.
So yeah, I mean, with Star Wars, I'm just I hope we don't get too diluted, because they were doing the one movie a year for a while, and that got to be too much. And then you look at, like, I can't remember what they announced it at, if it was one of the Disney things, but it was just 20 different Star Wars series coming up, and I'm like, I hope we don't run into the same problem.
Yeah, I know, and it's like, how long, is Disney going to ride this train of Marvel and Star Wars? I mean, Marvel has such a dense and rich history. I mean, they can pull, content from the Marvel comics forever.
Oh, yeah. And the deeper they go, the more the fans are going to love it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, come on. I mean, you put it you put a story in the hands of the right filmmaker. I mean, look what James Gunn did with Guardians of the Galaxy, and these were secondary characters. Unless you were a hardcore Marvel fan, you had no idea who they were. But it ended up being a terrific movie. The second Guardians of the Galaxy, not so much. I still enjoyed it, but the first one just rocked.
The characters were so secondary that they weren't a part of the contract that Universal has in Florida to use Marvel characters.
Yes, exactly, and that's what Disney was forced to do, because they couldn't use so many of the primary characters.
Yep, that's why we're getting Spider-Man and everything on the West Coast. So you get Guardians of the Galaxy in Florida. I don't know. I hope they come to an agreement eventually. Just like, hey, we'll let you guys keep your stuff in. Just pay off Universal, but let them keep their stuff, I guess, is what I want. Because I don't want that Spider-Man ride to go anywhere.
No, that's such a good ride. I
Oh,
mean,
it's
all
so
these years
good.
later, it's still a good ride.
Oh, I love it so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's they have a lot relying on it. In fact, this Disney Wish that we're about to speak about, they had that whole like the YouTube video kind of walking you through it, and
Yes.
they had like the emblems of all the Disney characters, and it still throws me off to see like princesses and Simba, and
And
then
there was a
Spider-Man
stormtrooper
and
there. Yeah.
Stormtrooper.
I saw that. And along that line, Disney Cruise Line announced that they have a brand new ship, the Disney Wish, and it's going to start cruising. I believe June 9th is its maiden voyage.
This coming June?
Next year.
Oh, next year. Oh, okay.
Next
okay.
year. Next
Should have
year.
let you finish. My God.
Sorry. He's like, June 9th? I got to go.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I don't trust my.
And
Yeah, I don't know. I don't trust the society yet. I'm not ready for a cruise.
yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the other thing too. It's like, are we ready to take a cruise? A cruise these days. Although, if you go to the Disney Cruise Line, DisneyCruiseLine.com, you go to their website and they have all sorts of alerts and things about COVID-19 warnings and how we're concerned about the safety of our guests and all that.
And how they will get it. And
yes, yeah. But there's a video that they released where. They kind of gave a little sneak preview of what the Disney Wish is going to look like, and it's just this massive ship, and it's going to be cruising out of Port Canaveral, and they're going to be doing like 3 and 4 day cruises to the Bahamas, and of course Castaway Cay, and I always this always bothers me. Do you say Castaway Cay or do you say Castaway Key?
I say
is it a K or a key?
I say key.
It's spelled Cay, but you say key, right?
Yes,
Okay.
and I think that goes back to 4th grade, where we had to read a book called The Key, but it was spelled the K, and I think I was told in 4th grade that it's pronounced key, even though it's pronounced K.
Very good. Okay. 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 Okay.
Okay.
Okie dokie. But the if you look at the video, the ship is it just looks amazing and very expensive. These 3 and 4 day cruises for double occupancy, they start at around $2,000 and go up from there, and that's just for 2 people in the stateroom. And that doesn't count any of the many suites and their veranda cabins and their concierge cabins, which go up dramatically. And they've even built these like 2-story suites into like, in the old days you'd call it a smokestack. I do not know what you call it now because smoke doesn't come out of it anymore. But
I believe they used funnel.
The funnel things that come out of the top of the ship, they actually have built 2-story suites into the side of that, so you get this huge view.
Plume of exhaust. I mean, yes,
exactly.
View.
Yes. And it's just staggering. And like you were saying about the Galactic cruiser, the Galactic cruise ship. All I'm looking at this and thinking is this looks fantastic, and there's no way in hell I'm ever going to be able to afford it.
Well, the whole like first half of that video, I mean, it's like a 3-minute long video, was just like, oh yes, we put all the care in the world in this room and this room and this room. 5 people you're advertising to 5 people right now who have a big enough checkbook to actually pay for that. I mean, it's cool, great. I'm glad that you're doing that, but hey, I'm not gonna ever go on that. So good for you, I guess, because I'm never gonna see that.
Yeah, beautiful ship, absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, probably not going to see it. I will see it in pictures, and
What I love about that video is, so then they go through the whole thing about, this is like 3 suites specifically they talked about, and then when they get to the regular old staterooms, I think they got 2 shots in before they were panning over a toilet.
I saw that. I was thinking the same thing. Oh my God.
And me, it's just like, I'd rather see the toilets in the other ones. Like when Star Wars Land hadn't opened, Star Galaxy's Edge hadn't opened, I just wanted to see what the bathrooms, aka refreshers, looked like. I love a themed experience in the bathroom.
A fully themed experience.
Oh my God, live your Star Wars adventure in the refresher at Galaxy's Edge, where your poop will be blue or green depending on what you bought.
There you go. Oh my God. Now, also on board the Disney Wish, remember the aqueduct that they had? I forgot on which Disney
The
cruise ship
water
it was.
slide, right?
Yeah, it's water slide. Well, they've taken that, and well, it's not just a slide. I mean, you sit in like a little
water
inflatable
coaster.
raft, and it's a water coaster. Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
I guess they have raised that, kicked that up a notch.
What?
And they're going to have, like, I think they're calling it the Aqua Mouse, because it's going to, instead of Donald Duck, it's going to have Mickey and Minnie.
There's no wordplay there. That's awful.
I know, but
That's a clumsy
you
portmanteau
know,
if I
when
ever
you're
heard
as
one.
big as Disney, you can do whatever the hell you want, and people like you and I will eat it up anyway.
I guess.
I guess, but yeah, I mean, and it's longer, it's bigger, it has more lighting effects and special effects and stuff like that.
It's long,
And-
it's strong, it's gonna get the friction on.
There you
So,
go.
fellas,
Never mind, I'm not going there.
bad.
Right now, unless you are a member of the with like their Castaway Club, like a platinum member, you can actually make reservations now.
They have a Castaway
for
Club?
the Disney Wish. They have a Castaway Club. And they have different levels. They have like platinum, gold, silver, you know,
course.
and keep going,
Why
keep
wouldn't
going,
they?
keep going, keep going, until you get down to the common people. Anyway, people who are Castaway Club members or Disney Vacation Club members, go to DisneyCruiseLine.com. You can find out when you will be able to make reservations for the Disney Wish. The general public, though, won't be able to book until May 27th.
This is crazy. So is this? I don't know. I can probably look this up, but so the Castaway Club, which is fascinating to me, is based on how many sailings you do. Is this just a lifetime of sailings, or are there people out there who are platinum members doing 10+ Disney sailings a year? Because that's amazing.
You know there are people who do that.
Oh, the cruise people are the cruise people. I mean, they love it, and sometimes it's cheaper than a nursing home. So old people, they'll just cruise all the time. That's why there's so many deaths on the sea. They have morgues.
That's it. They're just, cruise ships are just floating morgues.
I've often said that.
Well, yeah. Well, every now and then you see that story, a story like that'll pop up about a retiree that just lives out their retirement on a cruise ship and never leaves.
I mean, that's what I would do. I mean, that sounds like the life. I mean, I should say I've never been on a cruise, but
I have, and it was not a Disney cruise. I actually, the first and only cruise I ever went on was a Carnival cruise, and people who
the
are,
Walmart of the sea.
I know, and you know something? We got the most expensive cabin on the cheapest cruise line, and it was fantastic.
See, like I've never, like I said, never been on a cruise. I'm more of a when I go on vacation, I'm not one for relaxing because I feel like I'm wasting my time. If I want to lay on the beach, I can just go fill my patio with sand and lay there for a while. So that's why I'm really kind of big into theme parks or city exploring. But I
You
do
wanna
want to
do
do a
stuff.
cruise.
Yeah.
Yes. But I don't know as much as eventually I do want to do a Disney cruise, but I don't know for my first time that I want to necessarily make it a Disney cruise, you know?
True. Yeah. And I agree with that. And the first time you do a cruise, do one that's only like a 3-day cruise, or do just, or I'm sure 2-day cruises exist as well, but do one that's short. And just see how you feel about it. The cruise that we went on, and this is going back quite a few years, it was a 4-day
1912
cruise. It was
Titanic.
1912. There you go. 19. Yes.
Billy Zane was there.
And there he was. Son of a gun. Yeah. Yeah, I taught Rose how to spit off the side of the ship.
Victor Garber showed up one day and he's just like, I should have built you a better ship. And you're like, this ship can't sink. And he said, she's made of iron, sir. I assure you she can, and she will. It's a mathematical certainty. And it was a whole thing.
That's amazing.
I know.
Yeah.
I could quote that movie all day. Not even good lines.
Well, I was gonna say you've watched that movie way too much.
Dude, I unironically and ironically love that movie. It is fantastic.
I really like that movie, and I can't remember the last time I've seen it.
I saw it like a month ago.
Okay.
I put it on. My boyfriend walks in. What are you watching? I like Titanic. Ugh, and he just went back to the bedroom.
See, now, like I'll binge like Tarantino. I usually, or I'll get on a kick and I'll do Marvel movies. But yeah, Titanic would not be my first choice.
See, I do a Star Wars run once or twice a year. I'll do a Marvel run once or twice a year, and I'll do Titanic about twice a year. I mean, it's one of my things. But I'm sorry, I interrupted. Tell me about your first cruise.
I'm not going to tell you now.
Oh no! And that will do it for this episode of The Mouse Castle. Don't forget to visit us at themousecastle.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at The Mouse Castle, and on Twitter at Mouse Castle Show.
And I am never telling you about my cruise ship experience, but if I should ever decide to, please subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and wherever fine podcasts are found. And we will catch you next time. There will be a next time. We're actually going to do another show after this one in the Mouse Castle Lounge.
Might be a month. See ya.